So in our own tradition, we have Saint Benedict, who founded the Benedictine tradition of monasticism and laid into the tradition a foundation of a custodial model. So in the early on, right, 1500 years ago, the monastics had a relationship to the earth that was one of care. And then years later, in the 13th century, we have St. Francis of Assisi, and he has a new relationship with earth. Instead of custodial, his is more relational. So you have these stories of Francis of Assisi, like talking to the wolf, of Gubbio, and it may be it's a mythical story, but it lays into the tradition a sense that there are voices. The natural world has voices that we need to hear and we need to relate to. So in the story, Francis goes out and meets a wolf because the wolf is terrorizing the town, and Francis strikes up a bargain with the wolf, and they shake, the paw and the hand, and the wolf agrees not to terrorize the town if the town people give the wolf some food. So you begin to see in the tradition, even if it's mythic, this sense of listening to the voices. And Francis also has a sermon where he's preaching to the birds. So you see him out there, talking to the birds, and then he stops, and then he lets the birds give him a homily and preach to him. So you have in the tradition then this understanding of this mutuality between ourselves and the natural world. And then we have St. Hildegard of Bingen, and she has another model, which is the fertility model, or the more like sensual model. So Hildegard tells the tradition that the natural world is a sensual world, that we have to take it in, we have to touch it, feel it, smell it. And in one of her paintings, she has this picture of Adam falling down into this deep, dark hole. And she says, and the hand of God is holding out a flower, but Adam is falling down into this deep hole. And she says, Adam didn't take in enough pleasure to sustain himself, so he gets, he's sinking. And so she falls into the tradition, this sensual model of taking the pleasure that God has given us this world for our enjoyment, our pleasure, our beauty, fill the soul with it. And then lastly, we take this new evolutionary leap into the cosmological. So we go from custodial to relational to sensual, and now into cosmological, where we're opening up in the tradition to the vastness of the entire cosmic process.